Neovim is often considered as the ultimate text editor for programmers, and today I'll show you how Neovim can 10x your productivity. If you've ever wondered how pro coders seem to fly through their code without touching the mouse, the answer is simple. Neovim's powerful Vim motions, customization, and modal editing system. First, let's talk about Vim motions. That is basically the hotkeys that Neovim uses. There's literally not a single person who learned Vim motions and regrets for learning it. In fact, you don't even need to fully switch to Neovim just to try them out. You can install a Vim extension in VS Code and get the same benefit. Every single Vim motion keystroke has a rationale behind it. For example, you have to use HJKL instead of arrow keys to move your cursor. That is because HJKL are located at the home row, and you don't need to move your hand across the keyboard to move your cursor using arrow keys, which you probably do hundreds of times per hour. Instead, you can keep your hand on the home row all the time by using the HJKL keys. With Vim motions, you can perform simple cursor moving tasks with just a single keystroke without using modifiers like Ctrl or Shift, saving your fingers from joint problems. For instance, $sign moves cursor to the end of the line, 0 moves to the beginning of the line, and circumflex moves to the first non-blank character, which is extremely handy when working with indented code. Or if you need to go to a certain character, just press F followed by that specific character. Another excellent feature of Vim motions is text objects. Text objects are basically sequences of characters that Neovim treats as a single unit. It could be words, parenthesis blocks, content of quotes, or even HTML tags. For example, CI quote, which stands for change inside double quotes, does exactly that. It is another cool feature of Vim motions. You can easily understand what most keystrokes do by just looking at them. DAW, delete a word. CI curly brace, change inside curly braces. YAT, yank a tag. Neovim also has the concept of macros that allows you to record a series of actions and perform them as many times as you want. You could spend a couple of seconds recording a macro and then apply it across the entire project, saving hours of manual work. For instance, you can turn all these function expressions into arrow functions with one simple macro. And if you're wondering why keystrokes are not inserted in the document as text, that is because Neovim is a modal text editor, meaning it operates in different modes. By default, it is in normal mode, where all the commands happen. To insert the characters you type as text, you need to go into insert mode, and there are also other modes for certain text editing tasks. You can select numbers in visual block mode and press Ctrl-A to turn them into a sequence, or you can select a code block in visual mode and press $sign to indent it automatically, or in insert mode you can press Ctrl-O, execute one normal mode command, and you will immediately come back to insert mode. This mode's distinction allows the editor to have simpler keystrokes and eliminates the need to remember complex multi-key shortcuts. With modal editing, you stay in the keyboard mindset, and it allows you to focus on a certain task at hand. Since Neovim is entirely keyboard-driven, you avoid constant shifts between using the mouse for selection and the keyboard for typing. This reduces cognitive load and keeps you in a flow state, making your work faster and reducing the occurrences of errors. Moving beyond Vim motions, let's talk about configuring Neovim. And this is where the full power of this editor comes from. If the amazing power of Vim motions is still not enough for you, you can extend it by creating your own custom key maps. Or if you want Neovim to do something on a specific event, you can create auto commands, like deleting trailing white spaces when you save the document. Or you can install external plugins and basically do whatever you want, installing LSP servers with one click, fuzzy finders, advanced note-taking, and much more. And the best thing is, you can figure all that with your own hands. At this point, you might be thinking like, okay, I understand why people like Vim motions, but what is the point of configuring Neovim from scratch if modern IDEs like VS Code or JetBrains tools can be configured much easily? Well, configuring Neovim yourself rather than relying on default settings of an IDE can teach you some important skills and give you precise control over your coding environment. When you configure Neovim manually, you're forced to learn how each component of your environment works. From key mappings to plugin management and custom settings, you have to understand the purpose and function of each configuration choice. An iterative process where you gradually build up your knowledge of the editor as you experiment with different settings, plugins, and workflows cultivates a growth mindset. This mastery goes beyond Neovim. Many of the skills you acquire, such as understanding terminal-based workflows, configuring dot files, or working with Git to control version of your config, can be applied to other areas of software development. Building your Neovim setup also encourages a minimalist mindset, where you focus only on the tools and features that are necessary for your work. Many IDEs come packed with features that are irrelevant to your workflow, and while this can be convenient, it can also lead to slower performance and distractions. Creating your own Neovim config from the ground up makes it portable and customizable across different machines and systems. Your config/unvim/ini.lua file can be version controlled and shared across devices, meaning you can always recreate your environment exactly as you want it, no matter where you're working. And with Neovim, your reproducing capabilities get even stronger. Because you're in charge of your configuration, you'll know exactly where to look if something goes wrong, and over time you'll develop a deep understanding of how to solve common issues. In contrast with IDEs, troubleshooting is often abstracted away. If a feature isn't working as expected, you may need to search through settings you didn't configure or rely on third-party support. And also, Neovim teaches a sense of self-discipline and problem-solving. Rather than being spoon-fed features, you need to figure out how to implement specific functionality, how to integrate tools into your workflow, and how to troubleshoot conflicts. Despite taking some time to configure all this stuff, this builds strong problem-solving skills, since every new tool or feature you want to implement requires active thought and research. This hands-on involvement makes you more self-reliant and capable of overcoming challenges on your own, which is a valuable skill in all areas of software development. Neovim isn't just a text editor, it's a powerful tool that will push you to become a more efficient, self-reliant and productive engineer, and once you master it, you'll never look back. And if you're looking for the fastest and most efficient way to learn Neovim, check out my practical Neovim course, where you'll learn everything from the basics to advanced techniques. The course is packed with my own exercises called Vim Dungeons, recap lessons, lots of visual mnemonics, and cheat sheets, so you will remember the Vim motions forever. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced user, this course will make you a much more efficient coder, so if you're excited to take your coding skills to the next level, click on the top link in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.